It must be a single doorway to our citizens' ICT pleasant experience on a platform that provides friendly interaction with government services. And to this end, we were directly requested to invite all critical role players in the province so that we can then begin to look at this implementation plan that we have on how best we are going to rally the resources, finances, equipment, materials, and human resources behind the implementation of a digital transformation strategy in the province. So we then therefore gathered here with one objective. How do we collectively put our minds and efforts behind the implementation plan that Ntate Matipe will be able to be taking us through and talk about a bit on what it means, the look and feel of it, so that ultimately our citizens have got a shared pleasant experience in receiving and interacting with government services. Because I think that is our quest. And you are here as the chosen ones. You are the ones who are going to make a determination of how 2035 will be looking like, which is 10 years from now. Surely the expectation is that at that time, some of us would then be preparing to go out of the system and receive government services through an ICT. Interventions, the mechanisms that you would have put in place. At that time, you would not be thinking of yourself as an employee within the provincial government, and in provincial government, in the Department of Health. You would not be thinking as yourself within SETA. You would not be thinking as yourself within municipalities. You would not be looking at yourself, perhaps at that time, as a supporter to government initiatives from the private eye. You will be a citizen of the Northwest Province who wants to access government services. So we must do it right. If we don't think that we will need it ourselves at that time, but at least we now know through history that those who are coming after us expect much and better from us. I was battling yesterday with a quote that I have come across in one of the books that I have read. The book is called The Billionaire Advice. In that book, there's a caption say, it says, life is a mirage that man keeps wanting. Life is a mirage, but man keeps wanting it. So I'm going to be also, during the today and tomorrow, still turning my mind and my brain around that and try to understand exactly what is this all about. Whether truly life is a mirage, and if it is, and we know what mirage is, and what is our understanding of life, and if we do understand both of these things, do we really want it, or it wants us? In our experience of improving on technology as we move forward, in the applied neuroscience study, I've come across a neuroscientific approach that was, I think it's volume 4, number 1 of 2025. It's an article or a journal written by Nunufo Ditate. I think it's an official in the Department of Education. The impact of changing technology amongst the public servants for the benefit of the citizens. It's also one of the good things, good books that I think, or the journals that one would be able to be interested to read. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you You'll see me more often as and when I move up and out the stage and welcome others to come through. And thank you very much. You are all welcome, and that's our prayer as we have prayed. But to afford an opportunity in a secular state, may we then observe a moment of silence. After that moment of silence, I would then request our Government Information Technology Officer, Mr. Tato Matsipe, to come forward and provide us with a picture, to give us the look and feel of what we are here for and what is it that we should be looking out for and how we position ourselves towards it. Our program will run as it is. You will on the item that were supposed to happen at midday, we would not have that presentation. It will be replaced by presentation from Benjamin Seleka on the state of municipalities as seen by CETA. Other than that, the program will run as intended for the day, unless mystic events happens. But other than that, we expect that today we will run as we should, with a little bit of discussions as they would happen. All the presenters are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's observe a moment of silence. Gratitude. Bagaetsho Modimo teng. Ntate Matepe.
Good morning. Ke a le dumedisa bagaetsho. Program director, our convener for the next 2 days, our DDG in the office of the Premier, Rebuti Chuma, municipality officials, leaders who are here today, CEOs and leaders of our state-owned entities, our directors of ICT, deputy directors, assistant directors in the province, IT practitioners who are here with us today. Let's also recognize our partners who are here with us today, Box Fusion, Altron, we recognize you. All our partners, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, jaaka ke buile dumelang mo mosong wa letsatsi. It is my privilege to welcome you all to the West Provincial ICT Lekgotla, a platform that marks a defining moment in the digital transformation journey of our province. Today we gather under a theme that captures both our intention as the office and our obligation together as public servants and leaders in the Northwest Provincial Government. Our theme, Building a Digital Northwest 2025 to 2030, inspired by shared infrastructure and the provincial vision of a unified digital province. For us, this is not just a slogan or words to say. It is a strategic direction that the province has adopted. It is a roadmap that we have built towards building a future where technology, governance, and service delivery are integrated, are coherent, and are efficient. But most importantly, colleagues, it is a call to action. A call to action for all spheres of government in the Northwest Provincial Government, for all institutions represented here today, for every individual who carries a responsibility for digital capability and capacity of our province to come together and have a conversation together with the Office of the Premier, with provincial departments, with SOEs, with municipalities, to say how do we build a future that is digitally ready for our province. Colleagues, it's important that we begin by recognizing the moment we are in. Digital transformation is no longer a luxury. It's no longer a pilot project. It's something that we can assign to ourselves and not to single units or single departments. Digital transformation has become the backbone of modern governance globally. Our people expect services that are accessible. They want those services to be immediate. They want those services to be reliable, and they want those services to come with a level of transparency. They expect a government that is visible in our communities. They expect a government that is responsive to their needs. And they expect a government that is responsive to its own planning and their planning. More than anything, they expect a government that uses data and not guesswork. They expect a government that doesn't and is going to stop using paper. They expect a government that collaborates and not operates in silos. Yet our current ICT environment tells us a different story. If we look at our province, we can see we have fragmented systems, and we are operating mainly in isolation. If you look clearly, we have duplicated infrastructure that on its own drains our resources. If we look in areas that we work in on a daily basis, we have a lot of manual processes, and that on its own slows down service delivery. Whether we like it or not, we have weak interoperability that prevents the departments and municipalities from working from one system. We have rising cybersecurity threats that put our institutions and our citizens at risk. We have an uneven digital capability between our institutions, especially between provincial departments and municipalities. There are a lot of ICT issues, and these are not ICT issues alone. They become governance issues. They become service delivery issues. And then they become the developmental issues. And they cannot be resolved for as long as we work and operate in silos where we have isolated actions trying to reach a common goal. The NWPCC, the Northwest Premier's Coordinating Council, recognizes this, and they recognize the scale of this challenge, and therefore, as DDG has said, provided us with a decision and a mandate. The mandate that says we need to consolidate and align ICT planning across all spheres of government. We need to move towards a unified provincial digital ecosystem. This mandate is anchored by the Executive Council's decision and recognition, as the DDG has said, to say our Executive Council has recognized the fragmentation is no longer sustainable, that duplication is no longer affordable, that silos are no longer feasible, and digital transformation is no longer an option. Rather, we must create a province where ICT serves as the shared backbone of governance, development, and service delivery in our province. The purpose of us to meet today, as directed by the NWPCC, is for us to have the very first provincial ICT Lekgotla, where we collectively begin to shape the Northwest Digital Transformation Roadmap for the next 5 years. The roadmap we are developing is not an abstract document and should not just be a document. It should be a practical blueprint guided by data, grounded in strategy, and informed by the contribution of each and every stakeholder in this room today. from provincial government to SOEs and municipalities. Over the next 2 days, colleagues, we should have honest conversations about the current state of ICT in our province. We must identify critical infrastructure gaps and practical solutions that are going to close those gaps. We must explore funding models, governance models, and partnership models across all spheres of government. Over the next 2 days, we will learn from each and every one of us. We'll learn from municipalities, we'll learn from SOEs, we'll learn from CETA, we will learn from SALGA, and more than anything, we will learn from our industry experts and partners that we have partnered with. We will unpack the implication of the provincial digital strategy, which was approved by our Executive Council, and we will establish working groups to drive these implementations, because ultimately we need to work as one. This Lekgotla should not be just a mere symbolic. It should be a beginning of a collective execution. The Provincial Digital Transformation Strategy outlines a clear vision: optimized service delivery through digital transformation. Colleagues, this means that this Northwest Province must be a province where citizens access services without queues, without delays, and without unnecessary travel. We must be a province where decisions are driven by real-time data. We must be a province where infrastructure, systems, and processes are integrated. We must be a province where cyber threats are met with mature, coordinated defense systems. We must be a province where digital literacy empowers our own officials. Digital literacy empowers our youth. Digital literacy empowers our SMMEs. And more than anything, digital literacy empowers our communities. We must be a province where every municipality, big or small, enjoys equal digital opportunity. That is the Northwest we want to see and the Northwest we want to build. The theme of this Lekgotla places strong emphasis on the shared ICT infrastructure. Because without shared infrastructure, colleagues, reality is that we cannot reduce ICT costs. Without shared infrastructure, we cannot modernize service delivery. We cannot secure our digital environment. We cannot standardize systems. We cannot integrate municipality and provincial data. We cannot implement smart gov solutions efficiently. We cannot build smart cities and smart rural communities. And definitely we cannot ensure equity across all our districts. Shared ICT infrastructure should be the backbone of a unified province, because it enables the province to run a provincial cloud environment. It will enable the province to have a unified broadband network connecting all government institutions and all government sites to one network. To some degree, to even having some of our institutions like municipalities not paying for connectivity, but having a share that is equal in the connectivity that we run as a province. A single cybersecurity posture that is managed through a provincial SOC, managed by the to be managed by the infrastructure team within the Office of the Premier. An integrated digital identity for our citizens and our employees. We must have a shared systems from a smart gov perspective, dealing with issues of HR, finance, procurement, contract management, and so forth. We must have a unified digital service platform for all departments and municipalities to drive collaboration, to drive working together. This is not theory, colleagues. It is the future of governance. If we want to change how IT is seen as this province, how IT is seen as an enabler, these are some of the decisions that we are going to have to make over the next 2 days. While our vision we know is ambitious, we must acknowledge the obstacles. The obstacles that we have is that there's vast differences in IT maturity amongst municipalities. The legacy systems that require migration and replacement, limited ICT budgets and duplication of procurement, gaps in digital literacy, infrastructure constraints, especially in rural areas, unclear data ownership and inconsistent data quality, high reliance on manual processes, and inconsistent cybersecurity practices. These challenges do not really diminish our progress, but they simply make a mandate for us to be more urgent. They make a mandate for us to require an action from all of us as ICT practitioners in the province. Over the next 5 years, the province will focus on establishing foundational digital infrastructure. What we mean by that, we want to establish a provincial broadband, like I indicated earlier. We want to establish a cloud environment where all our instances are hosted. We want to establish a SOC in Haruna building. We want digital identity for all our employees. We want a shared platform. We want to strengthen digital governance, making sure that from a CGICT policy framework perspective, we are aligned, both at municipal level, SOEs, and the provincial government level. Provincial ICT architecture, we have made investment in enterprise architecture, and we want to see an environment where we build on this and create an EA that is inclusive across our province. We want to unify procurement, deal with duplicate in procurement, because that's driving our costs high as ICT. We want to expand e-services and smart government. We need to be able internally to automate as an entity so that ultimately we have e-services that are automated in terms of workflow, that are enabling transparency and improving the speed of service delivery to our people. We want to be able to build digital skills and support this transformation, upskilling our officials, creating a digital pathways for our youth and for our communities. This is the area that we are also going to drive a lot, because there is no need to transform, but you are not capacitating your people. We want to scale smart cities and smart rural initiatives. We want to see IoT deployment in municipalities, real-time monitoring, data-driven planning. Each of these pillars require a direct involvement of each and every one of us in this room today. Colleagues, the success of these digital transformation initiatives does not rest with the Office of the GTO alone in the Office of the Premier. It requires the whole of government. It requires the whole of society partnership. Municipalities must align local ICT strategies with the provincial architecture. SOEs must synchronize infrastructure investment with the provincial architecture. SALGA must support municipalities to build capability, maturity, and capacity. SITA must collaborate with all of us in building a secure and scalable platforms. Our industry partners must bring on innovation and best practices so that as a province, we can work towards digital transformation. Departments must adopt shared services and common standards. Transformation is not a spectator sport. Everyone must participate. As we open this Lekgotla, let me emphasize the key outcomes we must achieve, colleagues. We must be in agreement on a unified provincial digital vision. There must be commitment to shared ICT infrastructure. There must be alignment of institutional plans to those of the provincial strategy. There must be an establishment of cross-sphere working groups. There must be clear actions for broadband expansion, cloud adoption, cybersecurity, and smart gov rollout. There must be a shared understanding of the funding models. We must have a roadmap for building ICT maturity across all our municipalities. We must strengthen partnerships with SOEs and private sector. If we leave this Lekgotla without this alignment, without this collaboration, and without this shared ownership, we would have missed an opportunity that is placed before us over the next 2 days. Let me express my gratitude to our DDG, Rebuti Chuma, for his leadership that he has provided to this office. We have worked hard over the past 6 months to start this digital transformation in the province. We appreciate his leadership and his guidance. To our municipal ICT leaders who have been involved in this journey, and those who will be joining us, whose work is closest to the citizens, would like to express gratitude to you. To the CEOs and technical teams in SOEs who hold critical infrastructure assets, would like to recognize you as well. Salga Northwest for championing municipal capability. We would still want to see Salga as a key strategic partner as we transform the province. And I think CETA for also being our strategic partner in whatever that we do. We know we have headaches with CETA, but most of those headaches we have solved. So I'm happy to stand here and say CETA is a strategic partner to us. And to our industry partners, you work with us, you support us as we are on this journey of the province's digital transformation. We really appreciate your presence. Your presence today, colleagues, is testament to your commitment to the development of Northwest. Colleagues, this Lekgotla is not just an opening of an event. It is an opening of the new chapter for the Northwest Province, a chapter defined by unity, collaboration, shared vision, and shared infrastructure. A chapter where ICT becomes the engine that drives and improves service delivery, transparency, and efficiency. A chapter where we work together in building a digital Northwest over the next 5 years with shared ICT infrastructure and the provincial vision for a unified digital province. With these remarks, I officially welcome you and officially declare the Northwest Provincial Lekgotla open. Thank you.
Yeah, no, surely we must reopen it over and over again. Yeah. I think what we are basically saying to all of us is that we shine the brightest when we are together. It would not help anybody to be shining in a fading galaxy. Your brightness is required as much as this. From where I'm sitting, it's like rekakala, man. You can't get it closer there, you know. Is it possible? Ne, ke protocol. Colleagues, there we go. While Matipe was doing a presentation here, I thought perhaps I would be interested in getting some responses from your good self. I think he has actually made a clarion call that we need one province that is united behind one ICT rhythm. From all our stakeholders, the experts in the industry, the municipalities and government departments and SOEs. I'm just wondering if there's anybody amongst your good selves who'd want to have a bite on how you are beginning to position yourself towards one window, one exit, as far as our ICT transformation strategy is concerned within the province. So it gives me a sense that there is no resistance to that. And you already at the back of your mind know how you're going to get into the space. Or we will have much of your interaction and discussions during the panel discussions. We're going to have a panel discussions later on within the program. If there's nobody who would want to have a view on the presentation that was done by Mrena Matipe, then we would then have to call him again on stage to come and tell us, now that we all agree that we are transforming together into the new beginning of how ICT will be coordinated, experienced by citizens in the province. what would be the policy and governance mechanisms that we would then put in place? What order are we going to follow as is coming through to do that presentation for us to realize the transformation of ICT in the province? Ntate Matipe, you may come and speak to us about those mechanisms that we call ICT policies and governance, just to show alignment from national, province,